Welcome. Welcome to our live this morning. I'm Cynthia Harrison from the Academy of Conscious Evolution and Rhombus Healing Arts, and also the House of Unconditional Love. But today we are just make sure everybody's here. We are touching into something that's coming up. We've got, let me just see, we've got a bunch of technology going. So wherever you're watching from, you can say good day in the chat. So if I'm looking up, it's because I'm looking at the chat. It's up there now. You're up there. Hi. And we've got Insta there, and we've got the Zoom ladies in front of me. So I'll be looking around a little bit today. We'll see how we go. And I can see Lisa, actually. I've got my phone here too, so we've got multiple things going on. As I said, I'm Cynthia. I'm here today to talk to you about leading with spirit. Leading with spirit so we can succeed with heart. You know, I guess before we go any further, let's just connect a little and, you know, give people some time to come on. The countdown, we did it a couple of times, but so that should have given you some time to come in. And if I ask you, or if you hear somebody say, how are you? How are you? How are you? So it's a, yeah, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Good afternoon for most of you. Good morning for me. And take a breath. How are you? Just take a moment to relax into self. How are you? What does that mean? So if you were to tell somebody, what would be the word? And pop it in the chat. If it was a number, 10 being absolutely magnificent, couldn't get any better, or 1 being I'm not even out of bed yet, and it's 12 o'clock. No judgment. Just struggle town. Pop it in the chat so I can see and witness that, but also to bring consciousness to where you are. Where you are. Okay. Notice where you are. Breathe into the hips. Breathe down into the hips. Notice how that is for you. Let your body drop into the physical. And some of you that may feel or seem difficult, challenging. There may be some fearing around that. Fearing that if I connect to my physical body, I will feel more. I will feel more. I will fear more. I will sense more. And many of you, on one part, want that sensorial experience. That's what that awakening, that expanding, that being full force in life is, yeah? And as we do that, if we step and move towards more of who we are, we can feel more of who we are. Meaning sense more of who we are. know more of who we are. And that could be for just a moment, or it could be all day, every day for many years. So let me know where you are. You had a moment today. I woke up in that moment. And literally, I was traveling through the evening. I woke up and I was like, the stiffness in my neck and my chest up into my skull. I was like, okay, is this me? Is this mine? Is this the world? Are these the people that I'm interacting with? Is it you? Okay, it doesn't matter. We can ask those questions, right? And depending on what your particular or your favorite way of knowing is, you may go, spirit, is this mine or is this someone else's? Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And you can accept it no matter where it's coming from. So anyone wake up a little stiff this morning, or a little sore throat, headache, feeling congested, aches and pains, whatnot? Anyone? Just me? Maybe I'm feeling it for you all. All right, that's my job. I will feel it for you all. When we know, so on Sunday in the House of Unconditional Love, we talked about belief, yeah? And the belief of knowing that you can change your states. I got to not sit on these swingy chairs, because you'll see I'll just swing all day. I love swinging. So I got kicked out of class all the time at school. I just like to move. Anyway, use it as a meditation. Watching me swing. All right. So we can change our state. Let me know. Did you know? Okay. I had some muscle stiffness, pain through, let me see this whole chat. Sure. Now, were you feeling me or was I feeling you? Really, it doesn't matter. We are. A little question for you though. Did it go up the spine and into the skull? Like at that back point? And when you pressed in that back, it really hurt? Okay. I don't even care if it's yours or mine. Did it shift? Did it shift? You're welcome. You're welcome, because I woke up shifting my state, going, oh, I don't even know if I can move. What's going on? And that's my practice. My practice is I know that I can change my state, not through fear necessarily, although everything is fearing. Yeah. Awesome. Feeling pretty good when you woke up at 4 a.m. All right. Well, I woke up around that time too. So, yeah, I had a few wakings this morning. And somebody else is saying physical 6, spiritual 9. How do you navigate? So just jumping into that question or that answer. How do you navigate? What's the difference? So those of you that said, me too, and my son didn't sleep well either. Oh, so in our inner circle, if we get time, I'll tell you my journey last night or some of it. And I think, well, I felt that what I was experiencing was my aspects of myself were still there when I came back in. And so I just had to bring my body back into this realm. Yeah, look, I'm a mystic, so this is just how we roll, right? But it's the knowing, because if you didn't know, you'd be scared, or more scared than you need to be, wouldn't you say? If you woke up and your neck and throat is all like sore, and even inside, and your chest up into your head, right? And it was like, You'll be like, oh, what would you say? I'm sick or I'm getting sick. Mind your language, my lovely people. Mind your language. I'm not any of that. The body is experiencing, yeah? The body's experiencing. Because it's only 10 a.m. here and, within moments, all of that was shifted. Why? Because I know, I believe into the knowing that I can shift my state physically, emotionally, spiritually. So why am I telling you this? Why am I telling you this? So we started off touching into your body, dropping into the physical, maybe having an aversion if the physical is struggling. Why would you want to be in something that's really feels like you're wearing a jacket that's 3 sizes too small and you can't even move your arms? Have you ever? I remember. Oh, it's like when I remember in the military, and then they'd give us our uniforms, but they didn't. They weren't made for women. Let's put it that way. And so you put it on, try and do the buttons up, and you can't move because there's no room for the breasts, right? So you have to get 5 sizes too big so you can just move your arms. So I often look like this baggy, I don't know, camouflaged bunch of leaves walking around. But that's sometimes how the body feels. It's sort of how I felt this morning. Like my suit was shrinking. It was too small for me, right? Have you felt that? You're gonna talk to me today. Just put a Y or an N, a yes or a no in the chat. I need some interaction today. Well, I don't need. I would like. So we're breathing from the top of our heads down into the hips. Take a breath. And then expand. And notice. Just notice. Do that again. Top of the head. Breathe down the central core. Into the hips. When you think you've got no breath left, do another. And expanding. And now just sit for a moment and notice. Some of you that haven't done a nice breath, right, a conscious breath recently, may get a little like, woo, this is nice. I don't need that glass of wine. I can just take a couple of nice breaths, drink in that ocean of love and mercy, and get your own personal little high, right? Woo. Or maybe you didn't feel that. It's not necessary, but some people do. So if that is happening, it's okay. Just know, maybe that's a practice I could do more often. Consciously breathe. Hello. Right? Consciously breathe. So you're in your hips and just allowing any preconceived ideas, any worries, any thoughts that are, ruminating. You're just doing a few minutes of connecting consciously. So as I'm speaking, you're feeling, being aware of your body. It's not just the jacket. It's what enclothes you. It's what carries you. So I did want to talk about, so just let me know in the chat, just a couple of breaths, and you can do a couple more, but let me know what that felt like. Did it shift your state at all? Meaning, did it shift how you sensed the physical or the energetic? Did something change? Did it, sometimes, you feel heavy and it just makes you a little lighter. Or sometimes you're like way out there and it will just bring you in a little. It's sort of this equilibrium. Some of you may get a little, a little breath high if you're not used to doing a full breath, right? That's why I said do the little sips. So take a breath in. And then when you think you're full, do a couple, 2 or 3 sips. Or through the mouth. Sip it in. And then. And when you think there's nothing left. So when the next breath comes in, the stagnant or what's been at the right down the bottom is cleared out. You're filling up consciously with not only breath, but when you breathe consciously, that's what's healing. Okay. So now, let me know. We're doing some call and response here. I feel a bit lighter and relaxed. Awesome. So if I say, how are you now? Do your little scan. Do your little scan. Do your little scan. Where are you tight? Where is there a sensation? Where is your co-worker in life? Your colleague in life, the other parts of you. Just checking in. Hey, how you doing? Now, those of you that have no comprehension of what I'm saying, welcome. And let's talk about this a little. So we're just noticing. So some of you, I think most of you that I can see that are watching are coming to the beginnings, the trance channeling beginnings, which is what I'm calling it. What it is, let me tell you what it is. I'm not an advertiser, I'm a mystic, right? So I see in the field what's necessary at certain times. So the programs are sort of move around, right? And I haven't shared this one for a while, but we're doing the beginnings, which isn't necessarily for beginners, yet it is. Right? It's about being able to begin your journey in a new relationship. I just lost the register. Oh, there you are. In a new relationship. So it's like a friendship, building a friendship with spirit. Now, if you've done this before, think of a relationship, any relationship. If you have a relationship with somebody and you're like, yep, that's my relationship with that person, and you expect or have some sort of expectation that you know that person and that's how they are. It's just seeing someone who's gone from 6 to 8. Woohoo! All right, so just with a few breaths so you can change your state. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So going back to, we are starting the beginnings, so the beginning of a new journey, a new friendship. Not beginners, beginnings. Yet if you've never done this before in your life, you are welcome. If you've been channeling and walking with spirit for 10 years, you are welcome. Right? Because of how we structure it. Okay? Everybody's welcome and everybody will be catered for. And we'll be able to see where your relationship with spirit is now. And wherever that is, then we move forward, because again, it's like a call and response. You're sharing with me so that I can go, how can we refine that for you? Or if it's something new that you're like, I'm not sure about this, we can support and integrate that new relationship or new understanding. Does that make sense? We got to get, it feels to me, this is what I was shown. When people say, I don't want to do a beginner's class, it's not a beginner's class. And it's not an advanced class. And it's not an intermediate class. It's where you are class. It's what is your relationship. All of my programs are like that. Where are you? You, personally. Where are you? How do you connect with all the aspects of yourself? Right? And having time, support, guidance, mentoring on where you are at and where you would like to be. And we unfold that through the processes, through the techniques, through the guidance. You're letting me know, you're feeding back, you're journaling, you're doing your own practices and sharing with me what you feel comfortable enough to share so that I can guide you. Tweak it, answer your questions. The reason why, and I say this, I'm smiling because it's the reason why I pushed away from all of this, because I got scared. I had no one to talk to. That's why I won't mention names, but people in my family were scared because they didn't understand. And I'm like, when I found out, I'm like, that's my world. Let me share, right? And it's like, and now when they experience things, it's such joy and love. This is that belief that I touched on. The knowing or not knowing. So what is the fear? So this Friday is the technical start. So just to let you know the process. This Friday, so those of you that are already signed up, so Thursday or Friday, you'll receive some information to start going through, so that on the following Friday when we turn up live, right? We'll do a 2.5 hour live, something like that. If you can only do 2 hours, we'll see how we go with the practices, because we need to slow it down for you to do the practices and to feed back so that I can help you navigate the information. Right? So it's sort of like reverse teaching. I used to do this in Conscious Evolution. I would send you out information first and then we would meet. So that will go on over the weeks. And so those of you that are in cloud, you're good, right? Because on those weeks that you have class, you'll get the teaching, the homework. It's not alive, right? So you'll get a PDF with the video to have a look and just practice those practices. Most of you in that have done, or it will be a remembrance of them. So it's like revision for some of you. So when you come in, it'll be interesting to see where you're at now. Okay. Because as you evolve and as you're working on yourself, and particularly if you've been doing the Cloud Odyssey, you're clearing, cleaning, working on your triggers, your past beliefs and conditioning in a way that's they're able to integrate, meaning you have more access to more of yourself. So it'll be really interesting. I'm curious how sitting to channel or to even blend with spirit, how that changes for you, right? Because my personal experience is that the way we connect with spirit changes as we do that Simran Ishnan, right? That clearing and cleansing for the remembrance of God, right? The clearing of the karma, the Ishnan, the cleansing, clearing for the remembrance of all that you are, the God within. So, what's the time? Okay, we're coming up. So if you would like to attend, you can. It's $222 this week, and then it goes back to $333. Okay. So many of you got it last week. Good on you, because you were the early birds. And so this week is $222. And are there any questions about that format or that how we're going to run this? There is a bonus as well. There'll be an extra live, right? So those of you already in, and those of you that get in at this deal of the beginnings, I'll throw in a bonus of an extra live class where you can get some more live mentoring and whatnot based on what you've learned. So yeah, we're being curious. We're being curious. And I told some of you that over the months are being guided to do or to share more meditation. And you think about what we need to do for trance and channeling or trance mediumship, right? We have to be still enough within ourselves, right? There's a slowing down. There's a process of changing our state to be able to blend or allow spirit to come closer. It really is an intimate relationship with spirit. And so when we learn the tools, and it's very simple, it's very, very simple. What prevents people is they go into a fear of love, so a fear of their greatness or a fear of when they start to get information. So we will be starting with getting information through tools like writing, drawing, right? Takes the pressure off. You know, we do lots of, I think they're fun, right? To start to see, okay, where am I now? So if you're very new, or you've never done it before, right? Or if you're returning and you've been, you know, sitting and walking with spirit for many years, the more that you practice and the more that you, especially when you're in a container with others, you really feel spirit exponentially, because there's an expansion of the field. It's almost like we're all sort of batteries for spirit. And that's what we'll talk more about in, you know, the different types, the different ways of connecting with spirit. So, you know, it's not mediumship as such. It's, you will get, if you are a medium and you do this work, your abilities expand. But whatever intuitive practice that you do or want to do, when you do this type of practice, everything expands. Your connection, it's such an intimate relationship with spirit on all the levels of spirit. Right? That you'll start to, in your everyday, it's like, how do we bring that relationship with spirit into our everyday life? How, you know, how we, so there are, I'm going to say levels, purely because, so you can understand me, right? When you start out, you're asking, right? You're asking, you're communing, you're talking, because there's more of a separation. As you merge more and you're integrating with spirit more, it's not like you're saying, oh, what do I do in this circumstance? Although you can. But it becomes, you become more complete as one unit walking through the world, right? So there are practices on all the multiple levels where you can learn how to have those conversations with spirit if you're very new, right? So even down to what I teach. Right? What I teach, when I teach it, how I teach it, who teaches it, how much it is. Leading with spirit for success of the heart. You know, asking. So I'll just say spirit, so you can choose what aspect of spirit. Asking, you know, how am I to serve myself, my family, and the world? Right? Because it's not just about serving myself or serving my family. It all is in alignment, right? But serving the self is serving spirit. And when we have that intimate relationship with spirit, we see that we are the world also, right? There's no, well, I won't say there's no separation, because that sounds like. So anyway, this is the program. Did I put the? I believe I put the link in there. And if you can't find it, just send me a message and I'll go back into the chat and pop the link in. But you can attend now. I think it's works out to $108 off, but I'll also give you a extra live session class, and we'll add that onto the end. If you have any other questions, if you have any questions now, pop it in the chat. So, the beginnings. The beginnings. Are you excited? Are there any fears coming up? Those of you that I can see that are already signed up. No? No, no. I'm looking at all the chats. No fears. Looking forward to it. Good, good, good. And you can look forward to it and be scared. There's nothing wrong with being scared, right? Or scared-sided, am I? Or curious. You're just curious, right? I'm curious. I'm very curious. My research side of me, you know, that experimental side of me is like, oh, okay, what or how will those of you that have been doing some of these other programs or have done, because I think some of you haven't done the trance or the channeling, but have done cloud or some other things. It's like, okay, what do these other ways of knowing, how do they bring more to the experience? You know, again, that clearing, cleansing for the remembrance of God, right? Spirit. So, okay, let me just check. So not at the moment, you're all good. All right. I got this whole new system working today. I feel like I'm in a spaceship. You got no idea. So it'll get better, but when I look up there, it's because the big computer's up there. But that's where the whole system is. But this is where my Zoom is. So I'm looking at those of you that are here live. And so it's an 8-week program, but it'll probably be a 9-week program now, won't it? Because we're going to add on an extra class if you get in this week on that 222. And so I don't know how much a class that is, but it's not a lot considering, you know, the amount of information and guidance and mentoring you'll get. So I cannot put the link in. I don't know how to put the link in on the main thing, but I'll pop it in after the fact. And if you would like to channel with us, connect with spirit with us, and have somebody who has so many years experience, that there's not a lot that I can't tell you about of your experiences. And even if I haven't directly experienced it, my command center, yes, my command center, Lisa says. It is, yeah, it's not my thing, but it does feel pretty cool. It's like, oh, I can see everybody. Where was I? I've forgotten now. But, you know, no experience necessary. If you have experience, come with a, you know, as we say, a beginner's mind in martial arts. Come with a beginner's mind, even if you're a black belt, and just be where you are in that moment and allow what could possibly come in. And we've seen that in intuitive studies over the time, haven't we? Some of you that have been there, where I say, don't call in the guides that you know, right? That's a behavior, right? You've learnt somehow, some way that this is who works with you. But I'm telling you, there are so many layers and levels to what and who and how you're made up. And at certain levels of consciousness, of expansion, you know, you can only reach so much. You can only receive particular frequencies, right? So as you do the work, you know, it's curious. Like, oh, what else? What else? What's here? Ah, that's a little different. Let me sit with that. What's happening? It happens naturally with your practice if you practice over time. Right? It's like, you know, when I sit, or even when I lay down and I scan, you know, after my, if I do breath work, meditation, whatever, and I just scan the body, and wherever my intention is, I feel cold. It feels cold on the body. It's like my mind's eye is a cold hand touching. Like I can touch my toes, and I play around with that. So you could do that too. But it's like how precise and concise you can be, right? This is this is that. There's no other looping of the mind coming in. There's no information going, well, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. So for those of you that, whether you want to work as an intuitive, as a channel, as a healer, because all of this work is healing. When you, even if you're just sitting with somebody else in that space, it shifts your consciousness. It shifts how everything's sort of humming to hum at a different tune, and you can direct that. You can direct that. You can change your state, even if you don't fully know how. In that container, you change your state. So even, you know, going back to when we began, those breaths was you changing your state. So imagine if you were guided in particular ways that we know shift state in particular ways. So you know where you're going, whether you're going down and deep or high and, you know, raising frequency and everything in between. And what state of consciousness you are and what information you get at those states of consciousness. Right? That's knowing who you are. That's walking as one, because they're all aspects of yourself. The higher states of self, higher. Let's just keep it at that, but technically no higher, lower, right? All right, any questions? While I'm still sitting at my command center. And it's interesting because I feel like if you could see, maybe I should take a photo. See if I can take a photo. No, I don't know, it'll cut off. But I've even got, so I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 screens, right? Here's my other phone. I don't even know if I can take a photo of that. But what I was going to say is, take a photo of my command center for my inner circle. There you go. But what I was going to say is, it's like what's inside of you, and you're sitting at the command center of yourself. It's when I saw Avatar, right? Have you seen Avatar? Those of you that I can see, right? And you know, they get into those robot things. I've always felt like that. It's like my little person is sitting in here, and I'm commanding Cynthia, or what we call Cynthia. And I know it's bizarre, but as you start to know all the aspects of yourself, you're laughing, and yeah, it's like that. So now I feel like I've got all these screens to the multiple dimensions of myself, and I'm literally, because, you know, well, I don't sit here looking at myself. That's why I look here, because I'm looking at you. So when you come on Zoom, I can see you, so I don't have to look at all my heads, right? But they're all the aspects of myself. It's very, it's an interesting feel, right? So that's why I often say, you know, let's have a conversation, or for when I can see some of you on the Zoom, I'm speaking to you, right? So there's all these aspects of myself speaking to you. Anyway, so those of you that are in, awesome. I'm excited. I have the lesson and the video ready, and the PDF for your practices ready. In the next couple of days, I will send those out. And then on the 14th, I believe it is, because it's the 7th. So the 7th, you will receive your information. On the 14th, we will be here live for our first live class session, mentoring, guidance, going deep into wherever you are. It's not where I am and what I'm telling you. It's like, okay, where are you? Where do you want to go? What do you want to experience? And then along the way, I will help you navigate the mapping for yourself as we're in a small group. But, you know, I'll be checking in. Okay, where are you? What's going on for you? What are you experiencing? What are you not experiencing? What do you want to experience? So that I can help you navigate that. All right, so I'm excited. All right, well, we will wrap up the live, and we'll go over to our inner circle. And so if you'd like to join us on the beginnings, the trance channeling, where you can learn to lead with spirit, to succeed with heart, because it's all love. But we've got to accept the love and fear, right? So that we can commune in that unconditional love, right? And for some, that can be scary, right? When you really think about it, because if it wasn't, why aren't we? Think about it. Why aren't we? Why do we move away from, like, we get scared because we don't understand, or we've been told stories, we've been conditioned to be a certain way and to shut down from the other aspects of ourselves. So I invite you, if you're curious and you've always wanted to know a little more, but you were scared, right? You were scared because you don't want to be put on the spot, or you don't want to have an experience that might be scary. All of those things, all the fears, I invite you, right? Just come and check it out. And I will look after you, and we will, and the other ladies, won't you? Your support. You're not scary. Well, in our group, you're not scary. I don't know, you might be scary out there. Don't push them. No. All right. So it's a chance to just come in. I know what it's like to go to, you know, these groups not knowing, but you sort of guided, and you're like, something's calling, but I'm not sure. Starting anything new, you have a little like, I'm not sure, right? Ballet, at 50, or starting choir singing for some, or whatever it is, right? So it's natural to have a little zing in your system. All right. Until we meet again, may the blessings be. And you know, if you have any questions about what we've talked about, pop them in the chat, and I will come back and answer them, or send me a message or an email, and we'll get you started if that's what you would like. Or if you'd like to talk to me more, let me know. All right, so we will shut down this awesome command center until next time, next week. Okay, may the blessings be. Much love. All right.